The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hoop Ballers! Welcome back to another episode and another edition of Today in Sports Betting. I am your host, Devin Ellington, at DALE007 on Twitter. This is a hoop-ball.com presentation, but you can find us here at the show at Hoopball Gaming on Twitter. This is the gaming division of Hoop Ball. For those of you who may or may not be too aware of Hoop Ball and what we do and what we procure, go over to hoop-ball.com, check out the website, get familiar, get inundated, click on some stuff, click on the premium tab. You'll find that if you get Hoop Ball 360 for $12.99, what you're going to be able to have access to is top-of-the-notch, award-winning fantasy basketball knowledge and tools. You're also going to have premium plays from 7 different professional handicappers, yours truly included. But we also got a great collection of handicapping talent between Aaron Bruschi and Dan Bespris and Troy Markowski. We got Mr. Vince Miracle himself at BM Center. Thank you for taking care of yesterday's show, Vince. Shout out. And then one of my favorite things about all of it is the DFS Pass. Our guys over there, our pros, are just churning out winners and content. The Discord servers are fun. That's going to be a premium feature. So check all that out. But while you're at it, dig into the articles and the blurbs and the injury news and such while you're over there. Take advantage of the free content too, even if you don't want to, be charitable and help Hoop Ball grow. We've got something for everybody, I promise. Guaranteed. Some good stuff. It'll continue to get better. Today is going to be a solo show from me, so once again, if it's not your thing, if you like Vince better, catch him Monday next week. So that's what I'll say to that. I can understand. I'm a little eccentric. I may not be for everyone's palate. Little Michael Cera-ish on the mic. So get some rasp going. I'm actually curious. I'm curious to see what y'all think I look like. Because I've been told by listeners that once they saw me, they were just like, that's not what I was expecting. So maybe we can have some chats about it in the Discord for the premium folks so I can get my vanity taken care of and stroked. A girl's got to eat. Whatever that means. Well, as you guys know, and gals, I don't like to discriminate. We probably got some female listeners out there, so it's not like this industry is what it once was, where it was strictly all just male counterparts. So it's a growing industry. Got to be aware of everyone. But, as y'all know, I deep dive into college basketball every time I'm on this show, so that's what I will be doing today. Right off that diving board, that high dive. I'm going to take it 14 foot deep or high, however they classify a high dive. And is 14 foot even considered a high dive? Or is that still bunny slope territory? It's pretty high to me. I'll tell you what, it's high to me. All right. College basketball is going to be the focal point of today's show, as is every day that I'm on the show, and college basketball is, abundant. Yesterday's premium plays went 1-1-1 for minus 0.1 units. So that kind of sucked. Sorry about that, y'all. Had a couple other plays I wanted to throw into the package, into the wager pass plays. I just didn't want to pull the trigger all the way. And since I didn't have my full amount of conviction, I just chose to stay in place. If I would have tossed a couple other leans in there that I, was confident on, then we would have had a better day, a 3-1-1 day. So nothing but mediocrity over here. I might be in fade mode. I'm going to talk about some overnight lines that I played, some locks that I picked in. We got lots of college basketball to talk about, some value to be scrubbed upon. As of right now, I'm still making progress to my final 15 for my final cards selections. Looks like we got some 5-point rules in place with a couple of games. Discord folks in the college basketball wager pass section already know about one. We already jumped on it, and we already are seeing the benefits of our efforts and observational skills being taken care of because it's going the opposite way in our favor. So we are jumping on stuff early and often. There's some weird lines tonight. It's going to be a deep scrub for value. Last night was a little easier. So look for me to probably talk a little bit more as I, piece this college basketball slate of a puzzle together. Or puzzle of a basketball slate together. I knew the expression was in there somewhere. I knew it. I just did. So without further ado, let me jump into these games. Got some 4 o'clock Central Standard Time start times. That is the earliest game. But before I do all that, let me talk about mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag. I'll repeat. Mybookie.ag. Alpha Golf. You go over there, you use promo code HoopBall. You're going to get a 50% match up to $1,000 on your initial deposit. But what you're also going to get is phenomenal customer service, diversification as far as what you can play and what you can bet on, accessible customer service. Not that you're going to need it all the time or a lot or very frequently, but, the times that you do need it, you want it to be quick, accessible, and professional. And that's what they are. All 3 categories. They get in, they get done, they do it well. Very responsive. Through email, through phone, however you need it to be done. Blackjack, roulette, hold'em, 3-card poker. They got it all. Slot machines. All sorts of stuff. When the political stuff was going on, you could bet on that. There are so many odds and whatnot on that. All these college basketball games about to talk about, you can take some of the knowledge, you can take some of the picks, you can take some of the analysis, put it all together, go over to mybookie.ag, utilize that promo code HOOPBALL, HOOPBALL, and place some free money together on these bets from this free podcast. Make you some money, get you some house money accumulated, find out that we are worth a follow and we are worth being a part of the family here, and come join us on the premium side. It's just one step after another. MyBookie.ag, they're helping us grow. Hopefully we can help them grow more. Come grow our family. Use that promo code HOOPBALL over at MyBookie.ag. Bet, win, get paid. All right, let's move into some college basketball. We're going to go ahead and start chatting it up. Oregon State, the Beavers. USC, the Trojans. Trojans and Beavers. I'm not making a comment. Plus 12 on the spread for Oregon State as a road dog. Over under 136.5. Real briefly here. I took the over 135.5. I followed the first half point movement of steam from the 135. Oregon State can score the ball. USC can definitely score the ball. Their defense, though, is just going to be the X factor in this total hitting or not. If their defense comes out and is locked and loaded and they hold their team or their opponent down like they can do and like they have done, then that's going to be an issue. But Oregon State's got some returning scorers, some depth, so I'm not too worried about the Oregon State team being completely stifled. I also think 12 is a lot of points, but every time I've bet against USC this year, it's not gone in my favor. So I'm getting off the sides on these USC games. I'm going to move over to the total. 135.5 over. Then we just skip right on into 6 o'clock games. No 4:30s, no 5s, no 5:45s, no 6:05s, just 6 o'clock. Michigan State, Rutgers, this line keeps moving. It was at 2 points last night. It's at 3. Michigan State, 3-point road dog, over under 141. It's come down 2 points from the 143. Rutgers at home, -3. I've actually been loving, enjoying, and being thrilled by taking the road teams of the Big Ten Conference in some of these matchups. This game right here, I believe Michigan State wins outright. So them getting 3 points and the market being on the side of Rutgers, I like being contrarian. So I'm completely fine with playing this Michigan line at a key number, Michigan State line. Sorry, don't hurt me. Don't kill me out there in Lansing. Sorry for our Northerners. Sorry. I had a friend that he was from the North, but he lived in the Midwest. But every time he said sorry, it all came out. And it was sorry. Anyways. UNC Asheville against 15-0 Winthrop. Holy, you know what. 15-0 Winthrop. Winthrop, 15-0. I love Winthrop. They're so fun. 12 points is a lot of points, even though they are 15-0. UNC Asheville's not a terrible team. Asheville's had a couple of good surprise wins this year. They've played tough. They've beaten teams that they should have beaten. 12 points is a lot. 154.5 is the total. 157.5 is where it started, so we're almost to a 5-point roll. I don't know a side on this one. I mean, it's hard to bet against a team that's 15-0 because you think, all right, this is going to be their slip up, but no, and then they keep dominating, and then by the time you know it, they're 18-0 and 19-0, and you've tried to bet against them because their streak should end, So let's stay away from this one and see if Winthrop gets to 16-0. This could be something to keep an eye on. If Winthrop, holy moly, for a small school from the Southern Conference like this to be 15-0, because the non-con schedule that they play, these guys start the season off against some rough competition. It's not like they're just playing these other small conference, Southern Conference teams all year long. They've gone through the gamut and they've won some games, and I think they've had a couple games go to overtime. And Winthrop has gone through some stuff. They're a good team. Asheville, though, I think could beat them. Bradley, Valparaiso. Really, really, really initially liked Bradley in this spot at -4, but then I went to sleep and I opened my eyes after a few hours of sleep, and then the sun was up and then the spread was up. It's to 5.5 now. It was 4. I should have jumped on it before I went to bed. I was waiting to find a piece of nugget of information, and I was just too lazy to find it. So therefore, I didn't lock in my bet last night before I fell asleep. And look at me. Look at this. Look at it. I didn't get any value on a game I wanted to bet. Trust your gut, y'all. Just go with it. Don't try to, find a piece of metric or something that, you think is just going to make your pick feel a bit more fuzzy and warm to you. Bradley's the lean at -5.5 still. Valparaiso, inconsistent. As of lately, they've played a little bit better, but they are obviously outclassed, outmatched in the Missouri Valley this year. Over-unders 135.5. It has not moved at all. I could see Bradley's defense giving Valparaiso a tough long game. Louisiana Tech, Southern Miss. Not talking about this one at all. Not that I have anything against these two teams. Well, actually, I do. I do have a lot against Southern Miss. I don't bet on them in football. I don't bet on them in basketball. They are just a team that's on my do not bet list perpetually. UTEP, UTSA, the Miners, the Roadrunners, UTEP, University of Texas El Paso. I used to live right over the mountain from the campus, on the other side of the mountain in El Paso there. University of Texas San Antonio, UTEP, UTSA. This is actually a really good, really fun matchup. 1 point spread. Might as well just be a pick 'em. We got a 5-point play, or we have a 5-point rule in play here. 146 is the total, and it was 151. So if you want to, take that number of 146, go over, and utilize the 5-point rule that I put into play so often in college basketball this year. So we have 2 5-point rules in play today. Discord server got the jump on the other one. More 6 o'clock games. No more 6 o'clock games. Sorry about that. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. That's where a lot of these games are going to tip off. Real briskly through these next 3. North Texas, Rice. This is a really big spread for Rice, even though they just came off a really impressive ATS win against – they lost against UAB against the spread. And I was on the under in that game. So what am I saying here? Why is this line so large? Conference USA is hard to figure out for basketball. I ain't even going to front. It's pretty challenging. Moving on. TCU, KU, Kansas University. Holy hell. They're 15th ranked in the country, 10-5 on the year, just lost to OU. OU came and beat let's see, that was a road game. Yeah. OU hadn't beat KU at home in I think it was 15 years at least. It might have been into the 90s. But over under 136.5, 14.5 point dog TCU is on the road. Oof. This is just, KU coming off of a loss, usually pretty good under Bill Self. ATS off of a loss. I bet I could find that information real quickly. So let me just ramble a little bit about these teams, and then I'll try to find that ATS number after a loss for Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. It's just – and I want to take a little time here to tangentize and deviate towards a different talking point. So I apologize in advance, y'all. But here's the thing. You've got KU, who's won the Big 12, 12 years in a row, at least 10. It's been a decade-long dominance. And as a Big 12 guy and being in the Big 12 country in the heartland, it really, really, really is just weird. It's really just weird to see KU struggle the way that they are. And it's not weird in a bad way because, it's about time that these guys stop winning every single year in the Big 12. It's old, and I sound like a, pissed off fan of another school in the conference, which, I kind of am. But, it's time. 11 years in a row winning the Big 12, I think that's good enough. I think they'll be okay if they don't win this one. And, as far as someone else winning this conference, I think obviously Baylor is going to be the first one that folks think of. Baylor undefeated, Baylor beating everybody and beating the teams that they should. So with that being said, I've about got this ATS number after a loss locked in here. Now all I have to do is find Kansas. So let me scroll a little. And I should have done this on the computer so I could just hit Command F. And let's see. Okay, so 2-1 this year. after a loss against the spread. So let's look at since 2010. Since 2010, after a loss, ATS.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir,
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Scrolling. And I know I said I was going to spend a little bit of time on these next 3 games, so I apologize for pausing so much on this one, but I think there could be some really good value in taking Kansas tonight because they are motivated. They're playing under a pissed off head coach, Bill Self, because, well, they've just been playing like complete ass lately. So, you know, it might behoove us to try to find a tidbit of information that we can utilize and use for the sake of winning money. Yeah, 37-20 in 3 pushes, 64.9% since 2010, coming off of a loss, ATS, Kansas. So I would venture and say that throughout Bill Self's entire coaching career at Kansas, that number is well above 60%. So yeah, take with that what you want, do with that with what you will. Just know that it opened at 13, so we've seen movement of 1.5, so there's continuing to be less and less value in this line. Memphis, SMU. Memphis is playing some inconsistent ball. SMU kind of running with some people that they probably shouldn't. That defense is holding down some folks. 142 is the total. 141.5 is where it was at. No true opinion on this one, either side or total. So I am going to punt this one 100%. Continuing on with the 7 o'clock games, a game that I do have a play on, that I do have some interest in. Northern Colorado, Northern Arizona, 4.5 point spread as of right now. It was 3. I middled it in the area with a 4. Over under 133. Northern Colorado going on the road as a 4.5 point favorite. I like that spot. I have backed Northern Arizona a couple times in the last month, and I have not won. So it's time to bet against them and see how the formula goes. Now this is where they win by 10 as a 5-point home dog. So, yeah. Keep an eye on that one. 7:30, we got 2 games. One of them being probably pretty close to the game of the night, in my opinion. A couple of schools with 10 wins. But let's talk about Tennessee State, Murray State first. 12-point spread, Murray State the favorite. 135.5 is the total. All right, so it opened at 131. So we're at 4.5 points. We're at 4.5 points. So this is a watch for the 5-point rule. Tennessee State, Murray State, 135.5 is the total right now. If we hit 136, we hit the under. We go right back the other way with the under. Morehead State, Jacksonville State. This is the game I was referencing to. +4 for Morehead State on the road. Over under 129.5. And it opened at 127.5. I could see offense being unleashed in this game. Jacksonville State's got some efficient play. They play some decent defense, but they are more successful on the offensive side of the ball. That's been what's helped them cover some big spreads against some major big Power 5 schools this year. Morehead State is so inconsistent, very, very inconsistent. I think that Jacksonville State wins this game at home by at least 7. I think Morehead State just needs to figure out how to play a little bit more consistently on defense. I think they need to figure out better shot selections. Hitting free throws is key for them. Jacksonville State, they're a bit more well-rounded in my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm taking the play on the over or I'm on Jacksonville State covering, or that they're going to cover, but that is where my lean would be because they're playing better ball right now. But I do like the over 129.5. I think this game easily gets to 130. Like I said, both teams a little streaky on defense. So look for some points to go ahead and be scored here. Moving on to 8 o'clock games, going to just real briefly, and I promise this time I will, real briefly run through these 4. Montana State, Montana. Oof. All right, rivalry game. I don't like really touching rivalry games or in-state rivals or whatever. Look at the OU-Texas game the other night. I said OU could win by 2 or they could lose by 22. What'd they do? They won by 2, I think. 2 or 3. Or it was like a possession. But they were pretty much winning the whole game. They were up by almost 16 or 17 at one point. They were completely controlling the game. Texas came back, got it within 3. Like I said, rivalry games. I don't know if this is a big rivalry game in the Horizon League, but, Montana State, Montana, punt for me. Houston, Tulane. Tulane's pretty terrible. 17.5, though. That's a lot of points. Last time I tried to back a team, it was Tulsa plus 12 against Houston. I thought the double-digit big point spreads with Tulsa's defense would be enough, but no. Houston ended up winning by like 16. So I wouldn't be shocked if they won this one by 20. They are a complete team. Kelvin Sampson's got that team humming. They play just as fast on offense as they do on defense and on transition. There is just no gear down. There's no downshift with this team. It's ridiculous. They just keep going and going and going. They have depth. They have scorers. They have defensive pieces. They have great coaching. They have wonderful assistants. They have assistants on the bench that could be head coaches in other spots. Kelvin Sampson, 30-year coaching vet. Love the guy. Used to coach OU whenever I was a little tyke before the Lon Kruger days. So, yeah. Yep. That's what I say about Houston. Yep. 17.5 is just way too many points for me. So staying away from this game. Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, Southeastern Missouri. Some garbage competition. Whenever you got garbage teams playing against each other, I always like to go with the points. Plus 2.5, it's a small spread. They're on the road as a dog, but I could see Edwardsville absolutely coming in and getting a road win. 2 bad teams playing against each other, take the points. General rule of thumb of mine. Over-under set at 140. It was at 141, so we've seen some under movement, which I could see based off of the inefficiencies of both offenses. And I'm going to pause here because I know I say inefficiencies a lot, or I use the adjective or a form of the word efficient or inefficient or deficient. I am always typing it up in the wager pass plays. So if y'all want me to use a different word or want me to try to speak different or better language or English, let me know. But with college ball specifically, with efficiencies and, efficiency ratings, there are so many different metrics and ratings out there based off of efficiency alone. So yeah, with college ball, I say the word inefficient or efficient so very often. And that's because I'm referring to a ton of different metrics. There are all sorts of different just red, green numbers based off of the metric of who's efficient and who's not, and how and which ways that those teams are efficient. So today's episode is brought to you by the letter E for efficient, for all you Sesame Street fans. All right. Eastern Illinois. Just Eastern Illinois now. UT Martin. UT Martin, 8.5-point dogs. It's come up from the 5.5-point mark. Eastern Illinois being 8.5-point dogs on the road after not performing back-to-back games. I don't know about this one. Ohio Valley Conference, very small conference, very small schools. So I'm not sure how I feel about this game. Over under 146. Oh, here we go. We got another 5-point play warning. Over under started at 150. We've dropped 4 points. So if we hit that 145 on the total mark, we shoot right back to the over, which I could see that happening. UT Martin does not defend anyone. Eastern Illinois creates a lot of contact and gets the foul line as much as anyone else in the Ohio Valley Conference. Other 8 o'clock games. My favorite 8 o'clock game, and there's a lot of them tonight actually. I've got the next few. I got some plays on. UAB, Middle Tennessee State. UAB is rolling this year. Their defense is phenomenal. They're 12-2. Middle Tennessee State has nobody on that roster, no depth, no production, no returning starters. I can't say none. No, I think they have like one or two returning starters from last year, but they're young. They're young. They had some injuries. Over under 134 total. Movement is only a half point from 133.5. But the major movement right now is the spread. UAB, this was one of my picks I locked in for going to sleep last night. UAB -9. I woke up, it was -10.5. It opened at -8. So I can see this creeping all the way to 11, all the way to 11.5 perhaps. People, late flood of bettors coming in on UAB, seeing that 12-2 record going, oh, that's a 12-2 record. That's better than 3-9. So we should just back them. That's how I used to bet. And that's exactly how I sounded too. So, yeah, -9, UAB. Wyoming, San Diego State. Wyoming +16. Give it to me. It's already down to 15.5. San Diego State, like I've said in the past, they do not play fast enough or have explosive enough offense to cover these big spreads against teams that they could struggle against, with teams that are more than average and inefficient or in efficiencies on both sides of the ball. Wyoming's a 10-win team. They've beaten some teams in the Mountain West Conference already. I believe they beat Boise State, who's at the top of the Mountain West Conference. They are vying for a top 3 spot, Wyoming is. Mountain West is top heavy, and Wyoming belongs in that top heavy category. San Diego State, great team, good team. They just don't move the ball fast enough to cover this 16-point spread, in my opinion. Wyoming, efficient on offense, slower pace, creates contact. They're going to get to the foul line. They're going to test San Diego State. They're going to go on the road here. I think they lose by about 10 when it's all said and done, but would not be shocked also if they squeaked out a road win to get them in the better positioning for the Mountain West Conference. All right. Big spread I'm willing to back right here. I love doing it from time to time with Gonzaga, and that's because they completely dominate the West Coast Conference, especially when they get to the middle and to the thick and the end of the West Coast Conference, and they're, approaching 30 wins. Gonzaga, number 1 team going on the road, 15-0, -27. I'm laying those points against San Diego. San Diego, I could tell you about them a little bit if you wanted me to. I don't think you really want me to. I think you kind of just want to hear the Gonzaga side of this. But NBA talent, Mark Few, one of my favorite, if not my favorite college basketball coach, model of consistency, model of winning there in Spokane. Look at them rolling. They are just going across and over everybody. Look what they did to Baylor. Look what they did to Iowa. Look what they've done to everyone that they've played that people thought would offer at least a little bit of, what is that? I'm sorry, they didn't beat Baylor. Kansas is who I was thinking of. That they thought was going to offer some sort of resistance. The thing about this Gonzaga team, their non-conference schedule to begin the year was the toughest that I think Gonzaga's ever had, or in my recent 15-year memory. It was like the gauntlet. They were just beating all these top-ranked teams. I mean, they beat Iowa by like 20, and they didn't even make it look, Iowa's a damn good team. If Michigan doesn't win the Big Ten, Iowa's gonna. Or vice versa. But to do what they did to Iowa, to make them look like such middle schoolers, no offense to you middle schoolers out there hooping it up. Hey, I'm sure there's middle schoolers out there that could dunk on me. But what I'm saying is this is Division I college basketball at the highest level. So Gonzaga -27. It's at -28 now. I could see it going all the way up to 30 and having complete confidence in that. Belmont, 16-1, the Belmont Bears are. Or what are they? The Bruins? Aren't they the Bruins? Yeah, they're the Bruins. Which a Bruin's a bear. I was almost there. I was pretty much in there. Austin Peay. It's Peay. So I used to think it was pronounced PA, but it's actually just P. So Austin Peay. Austin Peay. I'm going to talk about this team a little bit. I'm not going to talk about the 16-1 Bruins. Austin Peay, very consistent, even kosher, even keel, across the board. Good performing school. Defense, offense, patient. They're efficient. They can hang. This line opened at 6.5 to Belmont. Austin Peay being the home team, getting some love. I got my 6.5 last night. This morning it's at 5. I like it down to 4. I wouldn't be shocked if Austin Peay wins this game. 152.5 is the total. It's come down. The spread and the totals move synonymously together. Autonomously. Is that word? I need to stop using words that I don't really fully know. I'm just trying to spice it up and jazz it up for y'all. Make it a little more interesting, you know? I promise. I know good words. I've used a few. Efficiency being one. That's a good one. Anyways, Austin Peay plus 6.5. Give it to me. A little less confident in the plus 5. It's a lot of movement. But, you know, Austin Peay. I think they hang. Another 8 o'clock game. Last 8 o'clock game. Weber State. Idaho. 0-11. Ofer. Weber State starting to really come into form. They are starting to take over that, I want to say, was it Big Sky? No. I think I did this last time. What conference is Weber State in? Horizon? Are they the Horizon League also? We're going to figure this out. Anyways, Weber State's starting to roll over their competition. They're starting to become one of those small schools in a small conference that they just the differences of talent and execution sticks way out. You know, they are starting to come into form. So therefore, okay, Big Sky. It is the Big Sky. So yeah, against an Ofer team that probably just doesn't even want to play. There's another big spread I'm willing to back here. Weber State, just, you know, based off of what they've been doing lately, I know what can recency bias do for you. It gets a lot of people in trouble. But I've watched these Weber State games, and I've also watched some Idaho games, and it's atrocious. Weber State's defense is going to be important in this one. So minus 12.5 for me. It was at 11. It's at 12 now. I locked 12.5 in last night. 8:05. We have a tip. Sacramento State. Cal State, University of Sacramento. CSUS against Eastern Washington Eagles. I love this Eastern Washington school. They just put Cooper Kupp out. They've got a really phenomenal quarterback right now. Oh, wait, we're talking about basketball. Yeah, their basketball program is pretty good too. So right now, -9 at home. I'm not playing this game. CSUS has a lot of meshing that they've done. They got people from the squad they had last year together, same coaching, a lot of continuity. It's at, what did I say, 6.5 earlier? I was wrong. That 8 looked like a 6. I'm getting old, guys and gals. Holy crap. I'm like over here seeing double vision, trying to look 10 inches away. So with that, I'd be nearsighted then, right? If I have trouble seeing nearsight, or would that make me farsighted? If I'm weak nearsighted, that means that I am farsighted, like I can see far. Check back with me on that one. Anyways, Eastern Washington, -9.5 point favorites at home. CSUS, you know, not an official play, but I will lean +9.5. That's a decent amount of number. CSUS, like I said, with all that continuity, the production returning, you know, let's roll with that as a lean. Air Force, San Jose State, no, not touching it. two worst teams in all of the Mountain West Conference. But if you want to touch it, two bad teams playing against each other, take the points. The home dog, San Jose State, plus 4.5. Don't touch it. 9 o'clock, a little more interesting game, Stanford and Arizona. Stanford, okay, so this line jumped, and I'm not really sure why. I think maybe there was an injury, so this is something to check out. Follow some of the Stanford writers on Twitter, some of the beat reporters, the basketball people. Go dig, go check this out. And if any of you Discord folks find some information on this, drop it in the Discord for me. I'm too lazy to dig into it right now. Got a really busy day today, so I apologize. But Stanford, it was plus 4.5. Now they're plus 8.5. That's a 4-point swing. Arizona's playing good ball lately, but when's it going to run out? They just, they just have that postseason ban placed on them. 8.5 is a lot of points. Stanford's a good team. I've been betting on them and winning a lot this year. I don't understand why it's 8.5. So without knowing the full story here, I'm leaning 8.5. I'm actually going to move it into my card as of right now. Might make its way back out when I lock it in. But Stanford, that coach just got Stanford the highest recruiting class since I think it was like 2005, 2006. He's got them towards the top of the Pac-12. He's a dark horse contender. They get hot at the right time. They win games in the tournament. I mean, this Stanford team is going to be in the NCAA tournament. So I don't understand the 8.5, and I don't understand it opening so low and then moving so high. Maybe Arizona got a guy back or something. I don't know. But for me, still, either way, that number is way too big. If Stanford's down their best guy, it's still too much. They have a lot of depth. And they have really good coaching. All right. I'm going to wrap the college side of this up here real swiftly. 10 o'clock, we got a couple of games, a couple of chase games. So I'm sure the Discord will be popping later on. I'm actually going to move a game into my card right now as we speak. Cal, plus 7.5 against Arizona State. Boy, Arizona State's been faltering lately. They've just been playing so bad. Such garbage play you've gotten from them lately. 146 has dropped all the way down to 143.5 on the total. Shade is at minus 110 for both sides, so no favoritism, just like it should be. 7.5, Cal plays defense. Cal plays some really good defense, and they are an efficient, patient offense. So without digging too deep into this, I see a number of 5 on this game. That's kind of where I think it should be, where I'm more comfortable. I would play this down to 6.5 or 6 on Cal's side. But Arizona State, I think that excitement from last year and just solely relying on Remy Martin this year is taking its toll. If they had some other pieces around him, I thought some of the other kids that they had around him were going to develop, and I thought they were going to have like a core, 3 or 4 guys that were going to be top-notch. But now they just have one NBA talent just kind of doing everything, and it's waterlogging all the, offense and, how they play. So Cal plus 7.5. Yeah. Looks like I'm on both 10 p.m. games. And here we are. All right. We're back to the mother of them all. This is the one that I was talking about that I referenced to as the first 5-point rule in the Discord server. And you're going to see the amount of value that I just put out in the Discord and the amount of value that we have lost since waking up this morning. I made sure to put it out on the Discord what I was thinking on this game before I even finished putting my card together for today. So, New Mexico, Fresno State. This game opened at 125.5. The total shot up to 132. So, that's more than 5 points, obviously. I took the under of 132. I put it in the Discord saying, guys, this is what's happening. This is what needs to happen. This is what we're doing here. So, since then, that under 132 play has come all the way back down to 129.5. Crazy movement. I don't even know why it got so high to begin with. These two teams cannot score the ball, and they're very inefficient. But they also play pretty decent defense. They defend really well against the middling teams. So this is going to be a rock fight, just back and forth, back and forth. Under 132 for me. So if you want to take the under 129.5, I won't be mad at you. Other than the fact that you weren't a premium person in the Discord server and you didn't get the information first, I'm kidding. I'll move past that. I would probably play this back down to 128.5. But with it being originally at 125.5, Vegas is thinking, this is where it's going to end up. And Vegas is smarter than us. Some days, most days. But we hit them in the mouth every so often. So yeah, that's the last game wrapping up the college basketball card. Man, I'm excited for this card tonight. There's a lot of value that we had to really just try to scrub into. There's a lot of weird spots, a lot of tough ones. I think tonight is going to be your success is going to be measured on what games you leave off of your card instead of the games that you put into your card. I think it's going to be very important to be diligent tonight in this game setting for the college ball. So I'm going to just briefly run through the NBA side because we have 4 games. Real thin slate. I keep saving the thick chunker, big chungus slates for Mr. Vince VM Center. So Portland, Houston, 6:30, TNT. Portland, plus 4.5. Houston, home favorites, probably getting Christian Wood back. John Wall's back in there. Over under 229.5. You know what? I like the over. 229.5. It seems like every time that Portland plays in a game, there's a team that scores 120 points, and it's either Portland, it's either Houston. But if a team scores 120 points, then I have faith that the other team's going to score at least 100. So all we got to do is find another 10 points in there somewhere between the two, and I think that's possible between this Houston team and this Portland team. So look for lots of points. Look for Dame to just go ahead and go balls to the wall and just, take control of this game. No Nurkic, no McCollum, no worries. Lakers, Pistons. I'm getting it out there. Wayne Ellington revenge game. Here we go. Taking on the Lakers team. Wayne Ellington, holy cow. If you've been playing fantasy basketball or DFS, the run that he's been on the last week, geez Louise. I'm happy I was able to pick him up in my league of record, my main league, my $50 league. I picked him up. I was also able to pick I got Mr. Norman Powell off of waivers last night, spent some fab on him, $15. It is what it is. He's just playing too well right now to leave that production out there for someone else to get. Currently in third. The James Harden trade kind of affected me for a little bit. I've had JV out, Mr. Valanciunas, for like a week now. Haven't been able to use Davis Bertans. I got TJ Warren in an IR spot. But, I'm third in the league. I had the number 1 pick. Obviously going Harden. Then I have, Mr. Nikola Vucevic, the Magic Man himself. That guy's been phenomenal. And then I got some guys like Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray sprinkled in there. It's a pretty good team. I like it. I like the build on it. I like the build. Got Boogie Cousins in there because it's a 12-cat team, league, 12 team, 11-cat, sorry. Offensive rebounds, double-doubles, that kind of stuff. Assist to turnover ratio. Those are the 3 extra categories. So enough about my fantasy basketball exploits. I'm back to the Lakers and Detroit Pistons. 9.5 for the Lakers. It was 10.5, so we've seen a point worth of shrinkage. Over-under opened at 205, and it jumped to 214.5. That's really, really strange. So we're going to try to put the 5-point play for the NBA in play here. I'm going to go the other way, go under 214.5. Detroit, they don't score a lot. They have trouble scoring. The Lakers, I think, are going to have a lot of scoring tonight. So hopefully this doesn't turn into a 120, 130 Lakers victory, like 130 to 1 100 or, 130 to 90. So if the Lakers can stay under, and let's see what their team total is right now. The Lakers can stay under, like 115. And right now their team total is 112.5. I think that's a good look. Detroit under 103.5. A lot of juice on it, minus 125. But I'm going to put the under and then the Detroit team total under into my card. I'm not sure if it's going to make it into the total final card, but there's some value in those two picks there. There is, especially with that line movement. It started at 205. That's so weird. 9.5 is a lot of points. If I had a lean on a side, it would be Detroit getting those points at home. And like I said, risk of a blowout. I'm kind of scared. Clippers, Heat. Clippers, 4-point dogs. Heat, 4-point road or home favorites. Clippers down a bunch of guys. Their big three specifically, Paul George, Kawhi, Patrick Beverley, contact tracing, health protocols, whatever. The Heat are on my do not bet list, so I'm skipping this game completely. Sorry. Golden State, Phoenix. Golden State opened as a minus 1.5 point favorite. They are now plus 1.5 on the spread. Over under. Wow, here's another heavy mover. Over under 220.5. It opened at 228. What is going on? Going the other way, guys. Going over. Phoenix. Phoenix is 8-8. They don't have Devin Booker. Golden State 10-8. This line has flipped. It's now -2 since we've been talking. It moved up from -1.5. Excuse me. Phoenix. Man. Kind of hard not to back Phoenix right now, or right here. 94% of the money on them. They're getting a lot of the bet percentage, a lot of the money. I'm just going to stay at the over 220.5. I think this number was so low because of the Devin Booker thing, but you got other guys in there capable that can hit shots like Campaign. Then you got Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson. So, you still got Chris Paul running the offense. So, I ain't too worried about this total. I really like that 220.5. I can't believe it's come down that much from the 228. So, all right, y'all. That's going to do it on the NBA side. Told you, short, sweet, to the point, saving the big cards for Mr. Vince. So, heavy college basketball day like I talked about. We're going to have some fun. We got some great value. We got some picks. Maybe another pop quiz. We need to get some more MyBookie accounts set up. If you haven't done it yet, you've got to go to mybookie.ag, sign up, use promo code HoopBall, get taken care of over there. Let them know we sent you. I've got some accounts I'm waiting to fill up. I got about 2 spots left for this month that I need to get in there. So you loyal listeners out there, if you have a friend or whatever that might be interested, go ahead and DM me, hit us up in the Discord, hit Dan up, find us on Twitter, do something like that, and we'll get your buddy or your family member signed up with mybookie.ag. But then, pop quiz tonight. I'll probably tweet out the question. I'll put it in the Discord. Probably going to do a pop quiz. It might be involving that Murray State, Jacksonville State game, just because that'll be a really fun Ohio Valley Conference pop quiz. And, I might do a 2-question pop quiz, actually. Whoever gets the 2 first correct answers in gets set up with that MyBookie account if you don't already have one. So that's what we're thinking about doing today as we enjoy the value and the fun and the camaraderie of basketball. Hey, whenever you're looking at some stinkers and some matchups, remember that last year at this point in time, we were all twiddling our thumbs and mouths agape and just in complete and utter distraught behaviors because we had 0 sports and we had nothing to bet on. So that is not the case now. We have abundant information to go through and to talk about with college ball and the NBA. So this is what we're doing right now. And we didn't even touch hockey. We didn't even touch hockey or soccer plays. But, I'm only one man. There's only one of me. So hopefully the basketball talk was enough for you. If it wasn't, come holler at me or leave a review. Remember, if you leave a 1-star review, you better tell us why. You got to tell us why. You got to give us that criticism. I mean, I guess you don't got to. There's no law or whatever. But leaving a 1-star review and telling the folks nothing, man, that makes you a 1-star reviewer. That's a 1-star reviewer move right there. Review the reviewer. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, we have fun over here. We do. It's a fun family. The Discord is fun. Twitter, the exchanges, all that. Which, speaking of, y'all, I want to apologize. I've been a little less active on the Twitter front just because I've been trying to get my model formed and molded, the way I want it to. My picks have been going, pretty decent. I've been focusing a lot more on the premium side, so I apologize on that, y'all. I need to be a little bit more, non-selective. But the fact of the matter is we all have our lives. I started a new job recently that, it takes up a bulk of the time throughout the day. I work with my hands throughout the day, all day. So, it's hard for me to get in on my phone, like when I was bartending. So, what it is what it is. I'm still doing the podcast for y'all. We're still getting the content out. I would love to be a little more active on social media. As of right now, it's just not meshing with the schedule, but know that I am always thinking about y'all, my listeners and my followers. And I do appreciate everything that y'all have done for us here at Hoopball over this last year and with this growth. So, that's phenomenal. And an ode to you. I'm taking up this whole last outro part of the show to, fill it in with my loves for the followers and the listeners. So shout out to everybody. A lot of the core listeners and followers, you know who you are. But let's get some new blood in here. Let's get some new family going. Not that the old family members aren't exciting anymore, but I like my family reunions to be big. I do. More people to beat in horseshoes and dominoes and more food to eat. More people bringing more stuff. So let's grow the family reunion, the family union here, and let's continue to grow Hoopball. Make sure to use those promo codes I talked about with Manscaped and my bookie. That'll get you some awesome stuff and some discounts. And then if you aren't a part of the premium side, go over to hoop-ball.com, check out the premium content, pick what works best for you, but the best value is going to be that Hoopball 360 to give you all the content for just $12.99. $12.99. Troy and I the other night, we made sure that we paid for your yearly dues of Hoopball fees in one night with 6 picks. So we're going to do that more than once. We're going to have losing nights. I'm not saying we're perfect, but we're definitely going to keep you guys in the bonus and the money and the green bonus money. So keep an eye out for all of our content. Best bets, wager pass lock-ins will be put in shortly. I am actually writing my article as we speak. So some of the games we talked about today will be making its way over into the wager pass. All right. Well, I've done enough long-windedness here in the back end of the show. I just wanted to give you guys my thanks and my loves. So now I'm giving you all of my good vibes and all of my good energies like I do. And please, please, please reach out on Twitter and on Discord if you have any questions about any of the lines that we talked about. If you have a betting angle you want to talk about, we have some really knowledgeable folks over there, some really knowledgeable listeners, very skilled bettors. So come join the fun, join the Discord. Remember, check out hoop-ball.com, those promo codes. Check us out at Hoopball Gaming, at Hoopball Tweets if you want some more just general basketball stuff. So we'll see you on the next one. You make sure to be safe. I'll do the same. And again, much appreciation to you. 1,000 kisses. I love you all. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.